The amount of people that I want to hang out with is very low. I value my alone time. So the people that I choose to give my time to are special people that make me laugh, teach me things. Learn to really cut a lot of people out of your life and have no regrets or memories of it. You don't have room in your brain for anything else but excellence.
Jason Stewart, aka Them Jeans. Any other known or unknown aliases?
Nah, I mean, people call me TJ, but that's just Them Jeans for short because it's weird to say Them Jeans to like a man in their 40s. It's kind of a silly name, but like any nickname or whatever, you don't get to choose it, even though I did choose it. But
Yeah. Well, you chose it before you were in your 40s.
I chose it as a teen. It was my Jeans was my graffiti name when I was into graffiti, and then Them Jeans is the name of a Master P song. Put them all together, my love of music and art, and that's how I was
great.
born.
Dropping little seeds.
I have a Master P tattoo as well.
Oh, really?
He has a similar one right here.
Oh, wow.
But his says "bout it."
Amazing.
And there's more other elements going on that I chose not to have.
Jason Stewart, not only a musician, DJ,
sure. Yeah,
beatsmith,
yeah,
and known as Them Jeans, also the host of my favorite podcast that I listen to regularly, the only podcast that I listen to regularly, How Long Gone.
That's right.
Which is really just kind of like hanging out with your buddies. And we all wish, everybody who listens to it kind of feels like we're all just like shooting the shit with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking to interesting people also.
All the time.
Yeah. And you are a good cook.
I try.
We see the videos.
I'm trying.
We know it's true. Yeah. You've been known to wear a headlamp.
It's like a GoPro, but it goes onto my chest instead of the head.
It's not a lamp.
It's not a lamp. No. If I was like cooking in a cave, I'd for sure wear one, but it's more because I'm so tall.
So so it's not a headlamp. You're actually wearing like a body cam kind of situation.
It's a body cam. Kenji puts the camera on top of his head and he's cooking, he's doing the dishes, and it was like a COVID thing. It was fun. I tried that, but since I'm 6'9", the food was very small on camera because it's so far away. So I had to strap it to my chest like a police officer.
Yeah. Okay, so you're a rascal in Orange County. You're tagging. What's the deal? Tell me about paint the picture. Give me the flashback origin moment. What are we doing?
Okay, I was like a straight edge vegan kid growing up. So
vegan kid.
So when I went to like elementary school, middle school, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was just kind of an outsider, hung out by myself. Went to high school. Since I was not like a cool kid who was going to parties and having sex, I hung out with a group of other people who were sort of in that same boat. And they all happened to not drink or party or do drugs because they were too scared to, or they just didn't want to. And we became friends. And then part of being straight edge, a lot of people are vegetarian or vegan and represent, other elements of their life where they're poison free and they could consider animals and wearing leather and things like that to be bad for you. So that's how I started getting into cooking. I lived with my mom and my grandma and my brother, who also works in food. I don't work in food, but he works in food. And we basically were like, we're vegan now. And my mom and my grandma were like, cool, have fun with all that. I don't know how to fucking cook tofu or whatever. So then I had to teach myself how to cook. And then that's how I would, attract friends over to my house and hang out with them. I'd be like, hey guys, I learned how to make tofu scramble and some tempeh bacon. So come over and we can have breakfast and I'll cook it for you.
So the vegan, it was also a way, because it was a way to make friends. It was a way to be close to people.
Yeah, it was like, food being a love language for so many people, or like, this is a gift that I enjoy doing it and I like seeing other people, pleased with your work, just the way you like to go to your test screenings and see people huzzah when they see that episode,
We don't do test screenings.
No, need them.
No, nope, 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 nope.
Just a
And to be
friend,
honest, I have
maybe.
no idea how people react to the show. So the clapping makes me feel really good. That's awesome.
I clap when I watch it.
Noted. Um,
Mm. Yeah, so I was a rascal in Orange County doing that, being a vegan person. Then I stopped being straight edge. I started enjoying the world of drugs and alcohol. I started going up to LA and I would go to the clubs and dance around. And
and the veganism went by the wayside as well.
the veganism stuck around longer than the alcohol and drug use.
Okay.
So I was getting high, but still vegan for a couple years. And then eventually the same friends that sort of peer pressured me to become vegan and straight edge then peer pressured me into eating
Different friends.
cheese and meat.
So these are
Same friends.
same friends.
Same
So they
friends.
deprogrammed.
Yeah.
Everybody deprogrammed on that.
For the most part,
And
everyone
we
did.
went from being straight, so pure and straight edge that now we're like, wait, what is the first drug?
Marijuana.
What, when, like, what was the thing? Like,
Oh, I was
give me that high, what's it called? Half baked,
yeah.
story.
So before I even had a sip of beer or a hit of a cigarette, those entry level things, I had marijuana first. And I think it was it took 2 or 3 times. My friends and we would go to Main Street in Huntington Beach and we would, hang out. And before you would go there to get in fights. And then when you have marijuana and alcohol, you go there to have fun and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
dance around, maybe have sex. And it took me a couple of times to learn how to inhale. And then once I finally did, then the world opened up and we would get high in like the alley and go watch movies.
Got it. Like movies at somebody's house.
No, in the theaters.
In the theater. Got
And
it.
then
Cool.
eventually at our house when we would get really high, like in our car in front of our house, and we go in and watch, Martin Lawrence, You So Crazy, or, Friday After Next or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah. My first, I first smoked in high school. We smoked in a construction site in Riverside Park,
Okay.
and then went and saw the movie The Cell.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, that's the mind-bending Jennifer Lopez movie.
Terrible film to watch when you get high for the first
But
time, I'm assuming.
it seemed fine. I mean, it was like, because
You're a twisted guy
there's a
at that
famous part
age.
where a cow gets like moved into sections, and there's a bunch of weird like dream
Okay.
stuff. And Jennifer Lopez starred in it, and I did that. And then we went and bought more weed, and we smoked a blunt with the dealer, and I proceeded to throw up all over the elevator landing in my mom's apartment building. And ever since then, I decided to exercise caution.
Yeah.
So, Jason,
It's cool that it's legal in California.
it is actually cool.
Super legal. Go ahead.
I mean, the idea of it being the first time I went to tell me about the first time you went to a weed store. What was that like? Was that like pretty cool?
Nightmare.
Right?
It was both good and bad because you're like, I can't believe this is legal.
Yeah.
But the first weed stores in LA were really run kind of like what a commissary at a jail would. I imagine it'd be like,
yeah.
it's a line full of ne'er-do-wellers kind of itching themselves, 3 inches of bulletproof glass, and a guy being like, "What do you want? Oh, give me the." It was technically illegal, but
it's like getting methadone.
Yeah, it was very similar to that. It didn't feel right. It was a seedy place, and then I was like, drug dealers are cool. They come to your house, you give them a juice, and they give you drugs, and you give them money, and see you later, and we have a fun time. Maybe you'll become friends with them.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I can just order it on my phone. I text the weed delivery, and boom, it shows up.
And did you have the experience that I did when I thought, oh, cool, it's a soda with weed in it? And you're just like, oh, I'm going to drink this. We'll smoke a joint. You're like, dude, we're going to get so high. And then you drink a whole wheat soda, and then you have what can only be described as a
panic attack?
Irreversible ego destruction.
Yeah. We've all been there many a time. When I was like younger, smoking weed, not a care in the world, smoke as much as you want, get as high as possible.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna listen to Dark Side of the Moon and watch Dave Chappelle. Life is but a dream. As you get older, you begin to have crippling, bad, high moments.
But the edible. I'm saying
both.
When the store opened,
mostly with an edible. Yeah, the early.
Did you have
an
an early overdose with an edible?
Absolutely. And I quit weed for many years because of that.
Really?
And then I eventually reintroduced it back into my life. in lower doses, and then sometimes you'll get a little too high or you'll get on a bad trip and you'll start thinking about things that you don't want to think about, and you just have to kind of mentally push through, very similar to like meditation.
Mm,
I consider it to be like a cloud in the sky,
mm.
and then instead of being like, "Oh fuck, there's a cloud in the sky. This sucks now. This day is going to be bad." You can just pop the balloon. You can just look at the cloud and then make the cloud go away.
You name the cloud, you put it there, and then you can control it.
It's a bubble that you can pop if you want to.
What's the first meal that you remember ever eating?
Ever
What's the
eat
first food that you actually remember tasting?
Ooh,
Earliest food memory.
maybe macaroni and like Kraft macaroni and cheese out of the box probably.
Yeah.
I have an early memory of when I was really young and my aunt was babysitting me, and I for some reason put ketchup all over my bowl of macaroni and cheese, and I took one bite of it and I told my aunt like, "This is fucking disgusting. Like,
But
why'd you let me do this? Why would I? This is bad, you know?" And she's like, "You did it, dumbass. I'm not going to make you a new bowl of macaroni and cheese. Time to eat what you have done."
yeah.
And I remember that being a big life lesson where like my mom wouldn't say like, "Oh, it's so funny. I'll make you another bowl." Like my mom would also say like, "Tough titties, eat the mac," like any good parent would. But I remember that being a lesson very early in life. Like you can't just bullshit in the kitchen.
Wait, so she made you mac and cheese and you were being a little,
I
you
thought
were
I was
being a
gonna
little,
get my chef on.
yeah, you were being a little, were you bit like being defiant? You're like, oh, and because you knew she would do a new one, or
I
did you
don't
think it was
even.
going to be good? How old are you?
I
Then.
mean, I was probably like 5 or something like
Okay,
that.
wow. And
So, and
so,
I had obviously eaten food before that, but that's like the first real memory that, you know, I've removed most of my childhood memories.
okay, well, we're gonna get him back right now. Um, it sounds first off, it sounds like kind of like a TikTok food trend. Um,
I mean, to me, it sounds Trumpian of just like put ketchup on it and taste better, you
that's
know, like
right.
ketchup on the steak.
The childhood food, that's a thing.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, I remember on your pod, or maybe it was you did on your pod, weren't you talking about how um the most powerful kind of sometimes scary people eat really like
Oh,
childhood like
yeah.
applesauce on the hamburger
You
was
like
one of
never trust
them.
somebody who has like infantile
You
eating
open you
habits.
open the fridge and it's full of Capri Sun and Jello cups,
Yeah.
and what does that say to you?
It says keep a close eye on this person because something it's a sign that something has happened to them.
What would we find if we opened your refrigerator?
Right now it is full. I've been gone. I was out of town for
How
a few
long?
weeks. 3 weeks. But I see the joke that you made. It was good.
A lot of our viewers won't understand that.
I have How Long Gone, name of my podcast. I've got some greens in there, some beet greens, some spinaches, some sick relieving stuff. So some turmeric and ginger that I've blended into a liquid that I mix with orange and lemon juice. Drink that in the morning. I've got Greek yogurt. I've got a lot of C's candy ice cream that just sent me. I've got some David protein cod fillets. Are you familiar with this?
Uh-huh.
Have you heard of David the protein bar? It's like a gold wrapper protein bar. Anyone else in the room? Nobody? It's like a popular protein bar, but they also started making these frozen fillets of cod.
At Arrow, do you get them at Erewhon?
They just sent it to the house. I wouldn't buy it. It's really expensive, but
So,
it's
oh
kind
wait,
of like
are they sponsors?
no.
How much of your well, okay, because we're gonna get to be how do we
How do you become an
how do we do
influencer?
what you do? Um,
I would say half
because
the stuff
I was staying in my
in my
lane.
fridge is not something I bought.
A lot of things are not things you've bought in your fridge.
50
A lot of them are gifted.
percent of it is free shit.
And your wife is a costumer stylist,
Yeah,
and so
wardrobe stylist in the fashion world.
you're getting a lot of clothes as well.
We got a lot of clothes, a lot of home goods, lamps, plates, bowls, shit like that. I got some, you know, all the grazas, the Molly-Bas mayonnaises.
Wow, how do we do that?
Just be really cool, man,
All right,
and have
well,
Instagram.
that's not gonna happen. So
check it off your list. You're definitely not cool
That's
enough to
gonna be a
get any
big
of that
X on
stuff.
that.
But also, you're powerful enough where you could just ask,
Yeah, but that's
but never ask. You know
kind
what
of
I
a
mean?
what did they in the
But you have your people reach out
In
to
The
their people.
Exorcist, the demon says that would be a grotesque display of power.
It
Um,
would.
yeah. So okay. Anyway, so you have this memory of you're gonna reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
Actually think about how much salt you're putting into your super salty mac and cheese. I mean, it was kind of like probably a big salt bomb kind of situation. Perhaps no, not so much.
Salt levels are not coming into the equation, but I see where your head is
No, I'm saying
at.
that just like you thought it tasted gross, right?
I thought it tasted gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it could be more of a sugar and,
Oh, the
and
sugar, right? There's so
acid
much sugar.
element.
There's all the things.
But now that we say that, I have another childhood food memory that
Mm.
also traumatized me. One of the first times I would ride my bike to Del Taco, fast food restaurant here in California that I grew up eating, similar to a Taco Bell but with a soul. And I would ride my bike there all the time, get change from the couch, ask my mom for $1, and I would get chicken soft tacos there. And it was flour tortilla, some grilled chicken, lettuce, cheese, and then a creamy white sauce. You don't really know what it is. Squirt a little hot sauce on there. Delicious. And I went home and I was like, I want to make that again. We have all these ingredients at my house, more or less. I'll just recreate it. And I got a tortilla, some like turkey lunch meat, closest thing to some shredded cheese, some shredded lettuce, and I put some Hidden Valley Ranch on there as my white creamy sauce. I ate it and I threw up instantly, which it doesn't sound gross to have, lettuce and cheese and ranch dressing together, but I think it was so different than what I was expecting it to taste like. I threw up and I was unable to eat ranch for at least 5 years of my childhood. I found ranch dressing to be repulsive upon impact. I'm able to eat ranch now, thankfully.
That's great. Oh my
Thank
god,
you.
that's good. Immediately threw up, like just like,
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad,
just
does
like
it?
oh, like and you just like
Mhm.
whoa, like it just
I just ate it and I was like, nope, and then
no,
just threw it up.
you threw it up.
Mhm.
Wait, did you ate the entire thing down, or you took a bite and you threw up what was actually already in
I
your
probably
stomach?
took 2 bites out of it, and I was like, this
This
is a
is
disappointment. This is so wrong. But if I made that right now and ate it, I'd be like, whatever, it's fine.
yeah.
I've been able to perfect the creamy white sauce at home now, and it is not like ranch.
Got it. Okay, so now we have two gross out memories. What is the but it seems like you want to
Is there a
you
yin to
care
this
about food.
yang?
Yeah, like where are we going? You like so you were in this one you were aspiring to make that thing that you loved yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
But you're motivated. Like what is eating doing for you in this time? Like what is it?
To me, it was a source of entertainment and something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I found myself being really bored as a kid all the time.
Yeah.
Super bored, didn't have a lot of friends. I spent most of my time riding my bike around. I would read magazines, watch TV, hung out with my brother. I had 1 or 2 friends, but not very social. So, food and meals were something I could look forward to and something that I really got a lot of pleasure from.
Yeah. And that when you could cook for people, it brought like a community
That's
around
a
you.
whole new element of
Yeah.
self-satisfaction when you could make something and then receive a waterfall of compliments from people, whether you did a good job or not.
And same with playing music.
Mhm.
Doing music was a great way. So tell me about how you got into music.
So when I moved to LA, I was really scraping by, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, working some odd jobs, not really doing much, a lot of music video extra work. So I can be found in a lot of iconic videos from the early
Such
2000s.
as
Avril Lavigne, I'm With You. I play a ticket taker. Britney Spears, Every Time. I play a ravenous paparazzo, and I get to hit her in the head with a fake rubber
oh, that was you.
camera. That's me. I had long hair at the time, and I kind of looked like a Joey Ramone, Strokes kind of guy. Like I was like a indie rocker, long hair kind of dude.
Wow.
So every music video, like we need a short person, a tall person, all the colors of the rainbow, and I was tall guy, and I did dozens of videos,
Wow.
mostly just extra in the back, dancing up and down, but every
Yeah.
once in a while I'd have a little role
You have a
like
bit
that.
in the story there.
So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. There's a club called Cinespace right on Hollywood and
I know
Ivar.
it. I frequented.
They used to play movies there, and they would have like a very early like movie and dinner kind of Alamo Draft House kind of thing, but a little more sleek and sexy. And then
Mhm.
on the off nights, where I would go there, and some nights they would have like free drinks for
Yeah.
the first hour,
And contemporaries like Steve Aoki
yeah,
played music there. It
yeah.
was an eclectic kind of club with different kinds of music. And what kind of music were you into? Or
I
you
was,
sorry, you were not DJing, you were just
so I
going
was
there.
not. I was just going there, and then I would go so much I befriended some people that work there. I ended up working in the office, and then one of the guys went to Burning Man for 2 weeks, and I took over on his job, filling in. Ended up having a good flow there. Every week on the calendar Tuesdays were open, so I started doing a party on Tuesdays. Had some people come and
So you're
DJ.
promoting the party. You're
So I
curating
started
the
out as a
party.
party
Party
promoter
promoter.
first, and then every week I would pay these idiots, $300 to $500 in hard-earned 20s that I had just
Wait,
made,
who are you paying?
just all kinds of
Oh,
DJs.
you're paying the
I was
DJs
paying the
to come and do this
DJs.
thing, and you're giving them all this money, and
I'm
you're already
doing,
there.
yeah, and I'm like, I have better taste in music than these people. I could probably DJ better than them. I'm not as famous as them, but what am I doing promoting when I could just show up for an hour, make $500, and then get drunk, and drugs and everything is all there. It's cool. So I started eventually DJing, and then that just kind of grew and grew, and then the party grew, and it turned into a big thing. And we would have like Daft Punk DJ there with their
Wow.
helmets off, and Lady Gaga performed in like Charlie XCX's first LA show, and all these big people over the years. And then I was just a DJ for a long time.
Wow. It's like the next era of like what Whiskey A Go-Go was in a previous
Yeah,
time.
yeah, very
It
similar.
That's so cool. And that kind of scene just doesn't like exist anymore, I feel like, in LA.
It
Or does it?
it's starting to come back a little bit with the resurgence of the indie sleaze kind of style of dressing and music. So like the Black Eyed Peas and LMFAO are cool again
Oh, okay.
for young people.
All right, great. Let's book them. What gen?
Maybe Alpha.
The Alpha's better. Alpha's the best
Your words, not
generation.
mine. Why?
I love them.
You just love Gen Alpha people?
Z, I've been having issues with Z.
Who doesn't have issues with Z?
I know. It's just like, it's Jiro, our boy. There's a whole scene, and I softened a little bit where he complains about how you can't get young apprentices who want to do the work. They want to be TikTok famous. They want to have the he doesn't use those terms, but
Right.
they
It's so
want
hard to find a guy who
they don't
wants
want to
to
like do the
wash
hard
rice
work.
for 10 years
Exactly.
for
They
no
don't want
money.
to
I
wash
don't
rice for
get
10
it.
years, and they don't want to make the egg 200 times, and they don't want to go through that torturous experience to become great. Like
Fucking
the guy in The
pussies.
Bear. Remember, he's all traumatized in The Bear.
Yeah.
People don't want to do that anymore, it seems like. Or maybe they do now because of The Bear.
Yeah, I mean, I guess trauma is coming back a little bit. Because, you do have to make a note of that.
Is back. Trauma is back.
Because
That's a good title, actually.
the pendulum swings where like we can't just bubble wrap and childproof everything.
Yes.
And then you go to the other side and they're like, well, the coolest, best chefs were, thrown down the stairs every other day of their life and had cigarettes put out on their tongue. Maybe somewhere in the middle is a cool spot where
Yeah.
you can do hard work
Yeah.
and not be
Yeah.
a complete bitch.
But humans, as soon as the pendulum finds that sweet spot, we just blow on right by it, and it just keeps going. So you went vegan as a health thing, or were you always feeling that way, or
I read a book called The Omnivore's Dilemma. There's a bunch of literature explaining why it's bad to, kill animals and wear and eat their flesh.
Sure.
It's what but I'd be lying if I didn't say that the idea of dropping a couple lbs wouldn't be a great byproduct to my convictions.
And
But then as a teen vegan who doesn't know how to cook and has no access to health food, you just find yourself eating foods that are coincidentally vegan, like soft batch cookies and, chips and guacamole and stuff
Mm,
like that.
got it.
So you can get so many vegan friends got fatter when
Okay,
they removed animals and dairy from their diet.
sure. Okay, now the music. What music were you into?
At the time, I was listening to mostly hip hop and then like indie rock kind of stuff, so a little cool guy, pitchforky type of music.
Pitchfork meaning like the indie review website, like the cooler Rolling Stone for the new
Yes,
indie
yes,
gen.
yes. And it's a website that still exists
Still
today,
exists.
a shell of its previous self, but still in existence. But yeah, so one part cool, weird electronic music that I'd find surfing around the web, Electro Clash or Aphex Twin, or I listen to a lot of Bjork and stuff like that. And then Southern hip hop, West Coast hip hop from the 90s and early 2000s. I listened to a lot of that in the heyday, and then also the Strokes and all that kind of shit, everything else in between.
So you are on the cutting edge of culture.
Yeah.
So tell me about okay, so you're doing like cool kind of hipster. I mean, because this kind of like hip hybridy dancey, whatever the them jeans brand of music is, it was also being listened, it was in New York. I feel like this was a kind of like the wave of like
It was it.
you'd mix like Madonna, with like what is it, Beat It with like a virgin, you find those
Sure.
connections,
Sure,
and then you
sure,
throw
sure.
in your electronic hang as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. You'd be playing New Order song, and then you play Young Jeezy song into that, and then yeah, like you said, a Madonna or an old Michael Jackson song,
Mhm.
and then when everyone gets really drunk at the end of the night, maybe you'll play a ballad. Kelly Clarkson, "Since You've Been Gone" is something that somebody might do. Not
Mhm.
myself, but really
Yeah.
whip them into a frenzy.
Yeah, yeah. And that's kind of like part of your thing is you have a good sense of the energy of a room. You can take the temperature and you know where to go from there.
Yeah, but I think what I try to do and what I think everyone should do, and I'm glad that not everyone does it because then I wouldn't have a job, but read the room, figure out exactly what they want, but don't give them exactly 100% what they want, because then you'll end up with ketchup on the steak. You know what I mean? So
I
you have to set up restrictions. You have to one for them, one for you. You have to gently introduce what you want, not always what they want. And there's a lot of parallels into the kitchen as well.
no, absolutely.
If I love purslane, I don't just put a bunch of it on top of my panna cotta.
Yeah, yeah.
You just weasel it in your own special way, and they say,
Yeah.
"You know what? Maybe I like
Look,
this purslane after all."
you're the doctor. They're the patients,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah.
You take their temperature. You think, "Oh, you need some of this." They're not going to be like, "Oh, I want Vicodin."
Yeah.
I want
And thanks to the
Percocet.
internet, everyone thinks they're a doctor now.
Everybody thinks that they're a doctor now. It's true. And actually, one of the hardest part of being a DJ is the drunken club goer demanding music
Mhm.
or trying to touch your equipment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm okay with people making a request as long as they give me money. $100, I'll play your song.
There you go. Okay, now I want to talk about the podcasting. Where do you come into the action?
Okay, I discovered
What
podcasting,
year?
oosh, I would say maybe 2012 or something. Um, because Adam Carolla, when he was on the radio here, I was never really a big fan. I listened to Loveline like everyone did growing
Yeah, me
up.
too.
And he stopped being on the radio. And I never listened to him on the radio, but I just saw in the news that he's moving his show. He got fired because the radio station moved from talk radio to like a music station of some kind. And he was all up in arms about it and the death of radio. I'm starting a podcast and I just randomly gave it a listen. And I just listened to it at the gym when I was sick of listening to music. As a DJ, I would just listen to music all the time. It was your life. So it was nice to just hear people talking. And I learned a lot about podcasting from listening to that. Unfortunately, now he's a guy that I would not really put my name behind at all. He seems to be a bad negative person. But back in the day, I learned a lot about what it means to keep a podcast going, keep the ball bouncing, the plate spinning, keep things entertaining, keep things moving along at a right pace. And then I would learn this is a good episode, this is what a bad episode sounds like.
Just from listening
Here's
to
the
him.
reasons
So
why.
you
Yeah.
had some designs that you maybe you could do this.
Yeah. So then I was thinking, hey, I'm a DJ, anything that I can do to get myself out there, get out into the zone, talk to other bigger DJs. So I started a podcast called Tall Tales where I'd have other DJs come on and then eventually friends and all different types of people come over to my house once a week and we would just have a convo. I put it out. And it was still very early in the world of podcasting. And it was never huge, but it had a good listenership of some thousands of
Nice.
people
Wow,
and
cool.
kind of planted the seed. And then I started doing a food podcast with my brother and my friend Andre, and that also grew and became a thing. But I never really had like a goal with it other than to just be something to like fuel my DJ career
Wow.
as just like a little thing on
Yeah.
the side to be
Yeah.
known for and
Yeah.
have like brand awareness of myself.
Yeah.
But now that I'm doing this podcast, it has more of like a goal and a direction and like a plan of what we're gonna do.
How Long Gone?
How long gone?
And that's what brought you to How Long Gone. Is
Yeah.
you teamed up with
It's the
Chris.
classic overnight success after 10 years of work kind of story that you probably hear a lot.
When is the 1000th episode? Are you in the 900s yet?
We're 832, so I guess a couple more years probably.
Now, let's go back here. Okay, so you're cooking for people.
Mhm.
You are partying,
Yep.
doing drugs, and having sex with people.
Trying to.
Then you're a club promoter, right? You're at the
Mhm.
club, you're promoting. Then you're the DJ there, and everybody's kind of like and then you're doing a podcast where you have this community, and all these things are just such a it's all kind of a dream come true for a lonely guy on his bicycle in Orange County, for a lonely little kid.
Definitely. I was on the top of the world. Thankfully, I had a lot of friends that would kind of help me out because I was a little aimless for a while.
Yeah, but when you're this lonely little kid, you've now found all these ways to connect with so many people,
Mhm.
and
Through the gift of food
connection through
and
the gift
music
of food and music
and
and
drugs.
drugs and
Mhm.
a little something.
But yeah, when I was living in LA and I started making a little money and I lived in Silver Lake right by the dog park with my friend Andre, and we would have friends come and stay all the time. DJs would come and crash at the house for a week while they're in town. We'd have big barbecues and big, Italian dinners, invite everyone over. And it was just that was when I really got into cooking and took it up a notch because my roommate at the time,
Yeah,
Andre, was a very good cook already. His dad was a great chef, and his grandpa was like a butcher back in the day. So he had all these great old knives and like really good, solid cookware,
awesome.
kind of old world style. And I just fell in love with it. And we would cook all the time. We'd go to the farmer's market and we would push each other. I would say, I can make this lasagna better than you, and we'd do it and blah blah blah. And we got really good at cooking.
It's awesome.
And that propelled us to where we are today.
I mean, as good cooks
Yeah, yeah.
and complete whole people.
More so just the cooking part.
What's your biggest hang up? Like, what's your biggest like emotional or mental problem?
Maybe attention
Yeah,
deficit disorder.
yeah, me too. That's big. That's a
Just
big one for
I
me.
love doing 12 things at once and thinking I could do it all myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten better at it as I've gotten older,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, like in terms of like work stuff that's really important, I'm much better at delegating tasks to everyone around me and having people help out to get the job done. But when I'm at home, I'll be like, let's see if I can do the dishes, make dinner, do emails, fold laundry, and take out the trash all at the same time. Just because when that's all happening, then you have like a mental clarity or like a Zen like state going on.
Sure. What I like to do is have to do lots of things and then do none of them because none of them are going to be good enough.
Oh,
So then you just do nothing.
that's your flavor?
Well, it was for a while, but we're working on it
No,
now.
that I used to do that as well, where
Just the-
my therapist would tell me about it, betterhelp.com/howlonggone. and she would
Promo
say
code.
like promo code, hold on. She would say, have you ever had a decision where it's like you can do either this or either this, and then your brain is like, what if we did none and then just forget about the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, what I'll
Does
do
that
is,
sound relatable?
yeah, I'll try to find like an even bigger idea that could just be an escape hatch for all of it.
Mm,
Why did you feel lonely? Like, what was going on for you as a kid? Because I think this is actually something that is one of the biggest issues in society and may well end the world is undiagnosed like depression and like
mm,
mental
mm,
illness and stuff. But I'm not saying that that's you. What I'm saying is that when we ignore loneliness and we don't address it and people think that there's something wrong with them, whereas just like loneliness is like kind of normal, and
mm-hmm.
we encourage people not to be afraid to get out there and do something, which is what you did. You got out there and you joined the world. And I think that there's like a problem today where with the internet and all the dopamine that you can get just from scrolling and
Well, not to get all Scott Galloway on it, but he talks about this very exact thing, and his one of his solutions is the same thing that I have echoed throughout my life, which is alcohol.
oh,
Um,
he's the one who said that
he's
this
the one
generation is
that,
not drinking enough.
yeah, and I
Is that the
mean,
guy? I think I
yeah,
saw
yeah, yeah,
somebody
yeah.
sent me that.
You probably
An
seen a clip
alcoholic
of
sent
him
that to me
talking about
actually.
it. But I mean, honestly, it was the
Right.
biggest turning point in my life when I was like, I started going out to an '80s club on Sunday nights in LA, and there was a girl that was over 21, and she thought I looked like Nicolas Cage in Valley Girl,
Yeah.
and she thought I was cute, and I would give her a $20 bill and she would buy me an Adios motherfucker, which is like a Long Island iced tea but blue, and I would drink it, and then suddenly I could do whatever I wanted. I can go out on the dance floor and make a fool of myself. I could make out with a stranger. I could form a best friend, get in a fight, and then we're eating pizza an hour later, and just the whole world opens up, and you
Yeah.
just stop being kind of socially awkward. And obviously, it's not a solution that is, it shouldn't be your lifelong solution to this problem, but just in terms of getting your foot in the door of being more social, it was night and day for me.
It's just like take a plunge, try the
Hmm.
thing, go for the thing,
Obviously, it's
be
risky
safe.
because
Yeah, but be safe,
some people can go down a dark journey
Sure.
with alcohol.
Yeah. But there are other
But
dark, but I think that ultimately humans are meant humans cannot survive on their own. I mean, that's why, solitary confinement is it's
hmm
like a cruel and punishment that causes
yeah,
like psychosis. Humans need connection. And
yep,
so that with all this digital kind of stuff going on, it's easier for people to feel like they're connected to something when it's really just like kind of an internet thing that is exploiting them
hmm
or
as soon as you
giving them
close the Twitter.
it's hitting those dopamine centers in the brain with kind of fake successes and stuff when it's really just, that's just your brick block game. Or
Yeah,
it's the same thing with gambling and stuff like that. It kind of feeds these like things in your head. So
but I would say, when I was a kid, I just didn't really have access to a lot of people outside of school because I wasn't like doing team sports that much. I mean, I was playing some baseball, but I think looking back now, I think I was just really hypercritical of other people, and I just didn't really like most people, and they just didn't get me excited.
yeah,
So I have a lot of friends in my life now, and I'm grateful for that, but the amount of people that I want to actually hang out with is very low.
yeah,
And now I love and prioritize my alone time.
yeah. I
So
mean,
I haven't been
the
low.
balance is so important.
I haven't been bored in years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I remember I was constantly bored as a kid.
Do you think so? And also, so okay, so your mother is raising you alone?
Mom, grandma, and brother
Ma,
in the
grandma, and
house.
brother. Okay, cool. And so then, do you feel like alienated? at all for like at school and stuff? Like I wonder, like sometimes I feel like I look down on things that I don't want to do because I just feel isolated from them.
It was yeah, it was a little tough because we grew up in Orange County, which is like statistically like a higher income area, but we were low income and we were lucky to be living there, but making and having much less money than our peers. So it was a little alienating. And then, the Southern California suburban mindset is not super welcoming to those who are outside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I also can't really complain that much for being, a tall white guy growing up in California. It's about as good as it gets. So,
Yeah.
but also
But even
being
so,
extremely tall
yeah.
is a benefit as well as like an alienating thing in your life.
And when were you above over indexing on tallness?
My whole life, from like first grade until I was always the tallest kid in class
Yeah.
from the beginning. And it's cool and it's great to be tall. I would much rather be very tall than very short, but it offers its own handicaps and limitations.
Hmm. I know. So you said, that it sounded like you felt kind of bad for feeling like, not great at that age just because you're, advantaged. Do you feel like
Mm.
it's okay to feel bad then?
Yeah, 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 definitely.
Did you
But being tall is I have said it's a handicap that nobody has sympathy for.
yes. Go tell me more about that.
Well, it's just one of those things where it makes your life more difficult. Obviously, it gives you many advantages, but it makes your life difficult, and those difficulties any person would gladly accept into their life if it meant that they were tall.
Right. So you never feel like you can complain about or confide in anybody about that because
If
they're
I
just
was
like,
talking to
oh, poor baby, he's
a
so
bald
tall.
guy who was 5'3", and I'm like, it's tough finding pants that are long enough for me, and they're like, I will cut my finger off today if it means I'll gain half an inch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear about your struggles and how it's hard to fit on the airplane, or
Yeah.
sometimes you hit your head on the door when you walk in or
Right.
whatever.
It'd be tall white.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's tall white people problems is what you're hearing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's not something that I've really ever complained about unless somebody asked me to on a podcast.
Yeah. Well,
Then, but I've thought about writing a book about being tall.
in the British show The Office,
Hmm.
the what's his name? The guy, Stephen Merchant's character.
Tall guy.
Yeah. He gets made fun of a bit too much for being tall and he reacts to it. Remember when
Yeah.
he calls like, I could call you fatty? Remember that whole scene?
Hmm.
Um, were you made fun of as a kid? And how did you feel about that?
Mm,
I
I,
was made fun of a lot as a kid, so I can talk about this.
I don't think I was really made fun of that much.
Or were
Because
you? Mm.
but I mean, no one's gonna be like, "Oh, tall guy." So like, there's not much ammo, or there's not much to bite onto in terms of making fun of.
Oh, I
But
hear what you're saying.
but I would also I would preface any danger of insults being hurled my way with my humor.
Right. So you could diffuse it and with a little, and that's that. Yeah, the humor
Hmm.
is key here. Now, we don't claim it in the podcast. In fact, I didn't even say that you are actually a comedian. A comedian. You're a funny guy.
I don't know
Does
if
that
I
feel
would.
weird to say?
Well, I wouldn't call myself a comedian,
Yeah,
but
but
I
you
would.
are funny. I mean, that's the thing.
I'm a enthusiast of humor, I would say.
Sponsors are paying you not because you're funny.
The podcast is in the comedy interview category on Apple, I will
Yeah.
say.
I think the humor is such a thing that can the jocks weren't funny. Let's just put it that way.
Typically not. And now they have podcasts, those sons of bitches.
I know, right? Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. What
Leave
if
some pods for us.
that's actually what may destroy the world is the jocks are
Mhm.
making podcasts
And making more money than everyone
and
else.
making more money and they think that they're as smart as the nerds and they're also jocks.
I mean, I hope they don't think that they're as smart as the nerds.
When you were a kid, what did you think that you wanted to be?
Probably a musician.
Yeah.
I probably wanted to be in a cool band.
Cool.
And then, that
That's a
moved
good one.
to I want to be Anthony Bourdain,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Yeah, me too.
That's about it, really.
Yeah.
But as you get older, it's just like you realize you just want to be a cool, good person.
Yeah.
And then
Well, or
you're
that you
already,
realize you are a cool, good person if you just let
yeah.
yourself.
No, I know that I am,
Yeah.
which
Good.
is great.
What else do you love about yourself?
I think I'm funny, and I think I'm a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
I like that I talk to strangers.
Yeah.
Mm, and I'm an easy person to be around.
Yeah.
I don't offer a lot of friction, but I also like that I'm honest about stuff.
You are. You are. You hold
Fuck
that
it.
balance well because you have taste, and you have things that you uh, enjoy and things that you do not enjoy, and you're have no qualms about sharing your opinions of those things, but you're not doing it in like in a judgmental way where you're saying one thing is necessarily whatever, not bad, but yeah, a little bit,
It's a hard thing to learn.
Yeah, yeah.
It comes with years of experience of
You are a very
talking
tough food.
shit.
You're a very tough food critic of restaurants.
Yeah.
You're tough because your meals are valuable. The time that you spend to go out to dinner, that means something to you, right?
Yes.
And you
And
don't.
also
Mm.
there's things that I see in restaurants that not everyone else sees.
Yeah, tell me about that. What is your criteria for a good restaurant? What do you think would help people understand like a new way of thinking about a restaurant if
Um
they like it or not like it? Like
well,
what are you thinking about?
with food and restaurants, everyone, it's all subjective, of course. So what one person likes is different than the other person, and that's just how it's going to be. And you can just say, "This is what I'm into," whatever. But I think restaurants that I mentioned, Del Taco and Taco Bell earlier, one of them having a soul, and I feel like how some people can, they're a super taster or they have synesthesia or something like that. I feel like I can like absorb the overall energy of a restaurant, every angle, every part of it, and then just decide whether or not I'm going to like it or not. And that's everything from the food to the people that work there to just the building itself to how the menu's written, how the food looks, and just all the 10,000 criteria
Mm,
touch points, and I just know if I'm going to like it or not
yeah.
without having to really eat the food.
Because it's about you wanting to be in the place.
It's just, I mean, it's stupid to say like the aura, and I hate the word aura being the way it's used right now by Gen Z and below. But it is the aura that a restaurant puts out, or any business, or any person. Just those little tells when you're meeting somebody for the first time, like, oh, I'm gonna like this guy or girl, or I'm gonna get along with this person. You can just tell, and I'm like hyper aware of restaurants and food in that way.
Mm.
So if a restaurant doesn't really have, if it just looks like a place that I'm not going to spiritually connect with, even if it's free, I just won't go because it'll just be a waste of food for me.
What's the what's something that is like a red flag for you? Or like how do you know if the aura is not like it's not or not your aura? Like what's the red flag for you? What is the thing that you wish, and you can actually just give advice to restaurateurs and people out there. Like what is the thing that you want them to do a little better at or not try so hard to do, or what is it? What are
Well,
we doing?
I mean, I was just talking about this yesterday on our podcast, and my argument was that restaurants need to be more selective of who they let in, and that is a very difficult thing to accomplish. And it goes back to our nightclub criteria.
Mm, mm, mm.
And Chris,
Mhm.
my co-host,
Mhm.
was arguing, and I don't disagree with his argument at all, that the world of food and restaurants is such a tough business right now that no restaurant can afford to be selective about who is patronizing them, because every dollar counts, and it's just a tough time right now. But I was trying to push back and say, if you're running your business correctly, you have more customers that want to go to your restaurant than not. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a way that we could judge someone's aura, or based on not just how they look or how many followers they have, or if they're attractive or have cool clothes, or flashing money at you, but if they feel like this person should be in our restaurant, based on their energy,
Yes.
their spirit, then it would be an awesome place that you would want to keep returning to. Versus, we were discussing a restaurant called Haas Dakbiet in New York. It's a really popular, well received, well criticized restaurant. It's small, and the people that go there, it's been taken over by TikTokers and influencers,
Oh,
and
gotcha, gotcha.
so all the cool people that want to go there, they love the food, they want to support the business, they're excited to go. But when you're in the room and you look around, I've never been there, so I don't know. I've just heard other stories, but this has happened
Yeah.
to you, I'm sure, when you're like, "Get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be in a room with all these fucking ring light motherfuckers.
Yes.
I want to be in a room with people who are in this restaurant because they want to eat the food
Yeah.
and they love it and respect it, versus looking at it as an opportunity to create content and better their
Yeah, to
own
fill
personal
their
career."
because you don't want to be there for some people who are just like have a bottomless hole in their heart. They're just filling it with content, mining for likes and what have you. And
Yeah,
then, I mean, the craziest thing is people are like filming videos criticizing the food to the people or whatever. And then there's some satisfying ones where then they get kicked out of the restaurant or the waiter takes the food away, which is actually fun.
sure. I
But
mean, yeah, that is all good,
yeah, I don't think it's good.
but
Actually, I don't think any of
it's
it. I don't
tough
think any of that's good.
because, but my argument was like, why, if I'm working at the front door at Berghain, a club in Germany that has a notorious difficult door policy, if you walk up to the door and I look at you up and down and I say, "Not tonight, chief. Maybe you can go to Buffalo Wild Wings instead," or something like that, that's fine. And if they're like, "Okay, cool, I get it. This sucks, but I'm not gonna go in."
Yeah.
If I go to Nobu and the door guy's like, "Oh, you have a reservation, 7:45, and they look at you like, you don't look cool enough to come in here. Sorry, I don't like your vibe." That's a lawsuit.
Yeah. You know what?
But
Yes.
why?
Well, no, you're right. And we just had Wolfgang in and we were talking about like those early days of Ma Maison and early days of Spago, where the restaurant is kind of like a club. It is a club,
Yeah.
and whether it's the being a member is official or not, there is there's something to that that's kind of fun.
There's
Um,
ways around it with like the private
but
phone
then I think that
number.
then it's just that kind of place, and not every restaurant needs to be like that.
And
But I think that keeping the thing, I think that it would be interesting. And if when you do your restaurant, which I feel like is an ambition for you, maybe something
not
you think about,
anymore. It
not
used to be.
anymore. Well, or you may have opened it and we just don't know about it.
I just there's a restaurant in Athens I went to last year. I just got back from Athens last week. I didn't get a chance to go, but it's called Diporto, and it's like this. I think that's what it's called, but it's like in a basement.
Yeah.
It's cash only. It looks like it's been there for 100 years. There's a couple old guys wearing wife beaters, stirring a big pot of stewed zucchini. It's like very simple peasant food. Some torn bread and some chickpeas in stew, and for whatever reason it's just a TikTok sensation, and there's no reservations, there's no whatever, you just kind of put your name down and they call you, and there's all these people that should not be in there, they're just only there for TikTok, and they're asking the cook like, "How much longer till we get a table?" And, "Oh, you guys have ATM? Like, what's the Wi-Fi password? And can I sit here on this?" And then I just want there to be a guy or a girl
Yeah.
at this restaurant
Yeah.
just being like, "Out,
Yeah.
you're
Well,
done."
that's what Nozawa was. Nozawa was famous for kicking everybody, for kicking people out of the
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, yeah.
And for kicking celebrities out of the restaurant. He's famous for kicking Keanu Reeves out. He kicked Charlize Theron out. Anybody who asks for a modification or insists on
Just like the soup
anything,
Nazi, we all know that
that's why
one.
he was known as the sushi Nazi. The soup
Hmm.
Nazi being a reference to the Seinfeld thing where the soup guy, he doesn't like your attitude. He says, "No soup for you. You're banned from the soup." He doesn't need you,
Yeah, I
because he's
got a
just doing his
line
own
full of
thing.
jokers just like you behind you.
Exactly. And so Nozawa, I went with my friend Max Winkler, friend of the pod. He took me. We were in school together. He grew up in California. I'm from New York. We're in film school together. He takes me to like, here's some real sushi. He knew that I like sushi, and we get there, and Nozawa's outside smoking a cigarette. And Max is like, "Oh, what's chef? Like, nice to see you. Just gonna be two of us." And he just smiles and he goes, "No." He's smiling. And he's like, "No, I'm good." It's like, "Oh, I thought there was still some time left." And it's like, "No." Closing early, early. He was smiling. He's like happy because he's closing. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get inside this restaurant. Like, I
See,
need to be in here. I need him to know me. I need, I want to like win his approval.
these are
And
life
then
lessons that we need to learn
it
the
was
hard way.
amazing. It was an amazing thing. So then when we went back, and I got to witness from the inside over the years people being thrown out of the restaurant for
Mm-hmm.
anything, switching seats with people at a table, everybody out, everybody's gone. I mean, it was amazing.
I just remember.
Give a sip of your wine to like a non-ID'd person,
Oh yeah,
get
yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah.
don't come back.
I mean, if you're that good and
Yeah,
you can back it up, why shouldn't you be able to be selective about who you welcome into your business?
yeah,
Everyone has been into a store and there's a sign that says right to refuse anyone. Exercise that right more.
yeah,
Because that's how you learned. As soon as you said no sushi for you, you instantly were like, what do I need to do to get myself in this? If I go to a club and they look at me and say, you're not coming in, my goal now is how do I figure out
yeah,
how to be cool
yeah,
enough to be let into the club?
and have respect for that institution
Mm,
versus the entitlement of being like, I'm going to post you now and dox you and whatnot.
that's the worst.
Do you consider How Long Gone to be kind of like a club in terms of your guests and stuff like that?
A little bit. I mean, not in terms of the audience. We want as many people to
Right,
listen to it as
right, because
possible.
that's an open door policy to listen to it.
Open door policy. No,
Yeah.
no gatekeeping there. No paywalls there.
How cool and special do you need to be a guest?
It to me, I guess it's similar to what I was talking about before with the overall kind of aura of somebody, but the number one rule is never ask to be on a show unless you're like a close friend or something like that. But one should never really ask, "Hey, can I be on your podcast?" because it puts a bad taste in the mouth. It's like asking.
Because then we're wanting something from you, right?
Yeah, I mean, in that way, but like it's typically because they have something to push at a certain time, a book or a movie or whatever.
But I do feel like there is something to be said, like, oh, can I be on your podcast?
Big no.
I understand what you're saying.
You got to the front of the line at Sushi Nizawa and said,
I like
"Do you
the way
guys
you did
have
that.
California roll?"
Yeah, exactly right. Sushi, one of my greatest honors was that after I'd been kicked out the first time I went there, I went, Eric Wareheim, and I found ourselves online and one of the final days of Nozawa.
Mm,
And at the sushi bar that day, he snuck me a full-on uni hand roll, which I'd never seen him
really?
do before, and gave me a little wink.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like
Like a big old log full of
a
uni,
log
huh?
full of uni. Yeah,
Mm.
it was great.
The first time I ever had actual sushi, I remember a friend of ours, we were gonna go take a road trip to Santa Barbara, I think, and then our friend's mom was like, "Hey, there's a cute little sushi spot. It's kind of by the water. Here's $100. You guys should go eat there tonight." And I didn't know anything or what to order, and I remember ordering like an avocado dynamite, like half an avocado filled with like mayonnaise and shrimp and shit and eel sauce all over it and blah blah blah. And I was like, this is the best food I've ever had in my fucking life.
Yes.
This is a revelation.
Yeah. Now there is something about that style of sushi is a whole nother
Mm.
genre that is actually delicious.
It
And
can be legitimately
I would
delicious.
rather have that than like a poorly executed fancy sushi.
Sure,
You know what
sure,
I'm
sure.
saying? And I think it was called New York style sushi or Philadelphia style sushi or whatever thing it was. But
Are
that's
you are you
an
anti
interesting thing.
California roll now?
No, I'm not anti anything unless
Okay.
it is pretending to be something
Mm.
without the proper pedigree. So like I don't think that people should be
Mm.
charging like a $300 omakase, and then there's like the fish is like is tendony and like tough or whatever. You're not doing
Sure.
like the full execution of it. When you started talking about all the drizzling of the different sauces and stuff, I immediately went to your macaroni and cheese with,
Yeah.
with the
It
ketchup.
is it's fun
And
to drizzle.
if you had your chef's table restaurant, you would have like something that looked like that, but actually was delicious. It would
Mhm.
be like the Massimo Bottura tortellini with ketchup with a fine,
Mhm.
puree of
These are hand
dehydrated,
peeled San
rehydrated hand rice
Marzanos that
San
have.
Marzano.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a dessert.
With a red dusting of
Damn, that's a
Pop
good
rocks.
idea.
Okay, so what does the future hold for you? What are you looking for?
I mean, to go back to the what are you looking for? To go back to me aspiring to be a Bourdain like person, I feel like, I have a gift of talking about food with people, but I don't know, I don't have a sense of adventure and exploration as much. I've found myself leaning more into a Guy Fieri style situation
Hmm.
than a Bourdain. Like I don't need to go off-roading on in Indonesia,
You don't need to eat a bowl of crickets.
I don't need to do any stunt eating. I don't need to eat any questionable street food. And as I've gotten older, I really like the episodes where it's like him and Eric Repair at a three Michelin star restaurant having a great meal with
Yeah.
amazing wine and talking about cool stories about their life. More so than like, I'm going to fall down the side of this cliff in Bogota and then eat some weird shit sitting on a bucket.
Mm.
Like that part
Yeah.
is cool.
Or like in Juan Likes Chicken and Rice, like, hiking 2 hours from the nearest road and then maybe there's chicken,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do the we're going to go snorkeling for and we're going to
for
get the
sea
uni
cucumbers.
and
Yeah, long
yeah,
sea
it's all
cucumbers.
fine. I want to be in a restaurant with the chef, making fun of them, eating their food,
Yeah.
living to fight another day, having a good time. But I think the future, in the immediate future, is doing something like that with my wife. We're working on, concepting out a cooking show in our house
Excellent.
where it's the both of us and, a guest or two,
Yeah.
hopefully famous, and then
Yeah.
let the dollars roll in.
Res-
I want to keep doing our podcast forever, but I don't
yeah.
want to change it. I don't want it to be a video podcast. I like the way we do it now. I have no desire to change it. I want people to listen to it passively, not actively.
Hmm. How does one make a successful podcast? Like, what is the sauce?
Okay, the sauce, I can't say of all the sauces. The number one sauce is be famous, which is not really helpful to most people out there. But that is the number one path to podcasting, as we've said before. Be famous already, then take a step down into the murky waters of podcasting. If you're not famous already,
What if
then
you're famous adjacent, like you're friends with famous people?
that's second best.
Okay.
But we had the benefit of starting during COVID when
A
every
captive audience.
everyone was available.
Oh, that part. Yes, yes. And
So
it's a Zoom podcast too. It's a Zoom podcast
actors,
also.
famous people in general, they were grounded at home doing nothing and they got to talk to somebody.
So beyond the guest thing, then what else is whoa, how do you find a devoted following?
I would say consistency is the biggest reason why podcasts don't succeed. People think that it's easy, and it is easy because I'm good at talking to my bros. I'll just put a microphone in front of us and we'll talk and then wait for the money to come in. And if you are a one in a million generational talent who can do that, good for you. Great, you're ready to go. But otherwise, people don't necessarily need your podcast to be the best in the world. They just need it to always be there when you say it's going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you do multiple episodes a week, which is something that I learned from the Adam Carolla show. He would do 2 or 3 episodes a week, and then you get to depend on them. We do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so
Yeah.
people can sort of set their clock to our episodes, and they're gonna listen to it regardless of if they like the guest or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes back to my mentality when I first started throwing clubs and parties and stuff like that. I never wanted to be a talent driven party. I wanted people to come every week regardless of what guest is going to DJ.
Mm.
And that's the sweet spot.
Now, what is your favorite Chef's Table episode?
Maybe Magnus. That was the one episode where I was like, of all the destination-y, whimsical, far-flung Michelin places that I'm probably never gonna go to, this is the one that's grabbed me by the dick and pulled me in.
So this is Faviken in Sweden. No longer exists.
Faviken.
It's like a Viking restaurant, is what it feels like.
You have to trudge through the snow through this cabin, and I think they stay at the
Right, you sleep there
you
because
sleep
there's not
there.
enough
There's no
transportation and stuff, and
yeah.
you're fully immersed in the experience. And It's warm, it's got antlers and stuff
Mhm.
everywhere.
Mhm.
It's got food that is delicious and a little challenging sometimes though, because you
Mhm.
need to be like really, if you're gonna eat that old
The
dairy
Nordic
cow, the
world
Nordic stuff,
is
because it's based on
gets
scarcity. A
wild.
lot of it's based on scarcity, and you kind of
Mhm.
have to eat what you can get out there. But there is beauty in these ancient traditions that he has then updated and stuff. That's a
Yeah.
good one. That's also a very sophisticated one to choose. Also, it's like a deep cut.
Oh, thank
What
you.
else do you like?
That's the only one
Okay,
I've
that's good.
seen.
That's the only one you've seen. That's perfect. That's perfect.
No, no, no. I mean, I
Noted.
guess in terms of a newer one,
Okay.
Alice Waters, just because that restaurant encapsulates an era and a feeling that is really hard to pull off in
Yeah.
2025. Nancy Silverton does it with Otzeria Mozza in
Mhm.
LA here, but it's a lot more modern. And when you're at Chez Panisse, I just feel like I'm in the 90s. I mean, even though it's a restaurant that was popular in the 70s and
Yeah, yeah.
80s, and that's when the heyday was, but the room feels like the 90s to me. And, that's when I was a
Yeah.
kid growing up. I'm a 90s kid. So it's just,
And did you
uh,
go?
I've been a couple times. Yeah. Love it.
It is actually one of those restaurants of, like, regulars,
Hmm.
for a while, and, same with Mozza. Mozza was, like, impossible to
Yeah.
get into,
Hmm.
and that's kinda the cool thing about, like, the hot restaurants, is, like, that's the fun of it, right?
And also, I like any restaurant that it doesn't get in the way of the ingredients. If you get the best ingredients in the world, just like a sushi chef, all you have to do is not fuck it up.
Wolfgang Puck literally just said that,
Really?
actually verbatim. So,
Look, stick around, Wolfgang. You can learn a couple things from me.
you're doing good, or you could be validated in exactly what he
That's
said.
another way to spin it. Sure.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You have interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people,
Hmm.
meet more people than I've interviewed
A
because
lot
your
more.
prolificness and
Hmm.
everything and your advanced age. You've done like a lot of people.
Hmm.
What is the lesson? Like, what is the through line of like the lesson of living a good life that you think you've synthesized
Mm.
from all of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of interviews you've done?
Living the good life. I mean, I would say that I mean, having interviewed lots and lots of people, you're able to, I guess it's a little bit of like a speed dating type of mentality where you're able to really focus in and hone in on what you like and don't like about people and what qualities you gravitate towards and away from. And there's been so many amazing people that I've looked up to that after you talk to them, they suck and you don't like them anymore. And there's been so many amazing people who I did not care for or even know who they were. And after the hour of talking to them, we became friends and we still talk and hang out together. So I would say that the biggest lesson I've learned is like be very, um, I guess not so disciplined, but just like discerning about who you are talking to and who you're spending your time with and giving your time with. I value my alone time. I need to recharge and be solo for a lot of my life. So the people that I choose to give my time to are special people that make me laugh, teach me things, and give me financial opportunities later in life, hopefully. And learn to really cut a lot of people out of your life and have no regrets or memories of it. I like to consider it like a defragmenting of the hard drive or like removing photos from your phone or emails from your computer. There needs to be no like, does this give me joy, and have a ritual before I donate this item. Throw it all away
Yeah, yeah,
because you don't have room in your brain for anything else but excellence, you
yeah.
know?
And if you go for everything, it just dilutes the things that you do
Yeah.
care about.
And every time you remove things from your life, you get better at it. It gets easier and you know yourself and what you want more and more.
I'm so happy to hear you say that because I'm literally going through this process in my life right now. There's a whole construct of like this thing where I have to have like 1,000 different projects, like all
Mm.
this different shit. And I really just want to focus on what I really care about, which is, there are a couple of projects like Chef's Table, you
Yeah, the
know?
Chef's Table, it's you have enough episodes, enough hours of content to where it is a feeling,
Yeah.
the same way that another food show, Great British Bake Off, you watch that because it's a universe and a feeling that you feel comfort in.
Yes.
The same way I used to watch And Just Like That, the
And and
failed Sex and the City
and
show.
and How Long Gone? You
And
put it
then
on.
as well as How
It's
Long
a
Gone.
feeling, and
I mean, I've never written a movie, but I'd like to one day. I don't know what it would be about, but my ultimate goal is like, it doesn't matter what the film is about or the story is about or the book is about, how well it's written, the character development, the C story arc, whatever, as long as you create a universe that people want to be in, you're good. It could be Saved by the Bell.
yeah.
Awful show. Universe, when you were a kid and it came on TV, you
I
felt
I
it felt something.
I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Got it.
Do you subscribe to a spiritualism?
No, just myself. But I think as I get older, I think I will probably adopt some Buddhist activities, but I'm really am just kind of myself. I grew
Yeah.
up being anti-religion.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand that it has a purpose for a lot of people in the world,
Yeah.
and I'm not against it now,
Yeah.
even though it has a lot of negative side effects and bad things involved with modern religion. I just try to be a good person to myself and to everyone else in the world. Not to a government, not to politicians, but to just other human beings.
Yeah.
And I know myself and I know what I need to do to ground myself and listen to your body, listen to your soul. It'll tell you what you need to do, tell you what you need to eat, how you need to move your body, when you need to do some stretches, all that shit.
Listen. Look and listen to the
Yeah.
world.
Look and listen. When you're alone and you eat an edible, your body will tell you exactly what you have to do. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I have to email somebody and fire them. But then sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you gotta eat a sandwich right now because that's gonna be awesome. And then you gotta eat that sandwich.
All right. Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate you, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your candor.